Hi there folks, welcome back to another video. Well, today's video is just going to be an update as to what spring is looking like here. I also want to give a little overview on having enough water for everything you plant on your off-grid property. Now that spring is here, the mesquite are slowly getting green. This one is by my cabin. And I really love seeing the greenery. It just really cheers me up. In a matter of a couple weeks, all of these mesquite will be all fully green and just really, really pretty. Essentially, even though it can deal with cold weather really well, we had really cold winds for a long, long time. And I'm afraid the upper part of the plant is pretty crispy and is not viable. But Paulownia is one tough plant. So if I give this plant decent watering this year, once again, it could end up being as tall as I am and really luxurious looking. So when I planted the 4 Paulownias, I wasn't aware that when the leftmost tree got really big, it would disguise my views of the mountains, so I didn't want that. So I pulled it up really earlier this year and transplanted it. Let's take a look at it. So to be honest, I'm really surprised because when I pulled this up, I was pretty rough with it, and I only ended up with a bed of roots about that big, and chopped off with the shovel. In the ground it went, and here it is. It's coming up just as good as the other ones. So second year for the Oleander, and same thing, every year there's winter kill, but I'm hoping eventually they'll get bigger and tougher. So for those of you who have made comments and said, hey, what about the shower shed, and where is all that as far as construction? And I put everything on hold in order to work on my big home. Now, why the shower shed here is super important is this will house all of my solar components, as in my solar generators, everything that actually powers the big home. So I will need to complete this. So a bonus, when this is completed, this is almost 200 square feet of rainwater surface for catchment. And that'll allow me to be a lot more liberal with watering my trees and plants. And that'll make a big difference. So this windy, dry, cold winter really became evident to me when I looked at my cottonwood tree. The poor old cottonwood shows no signs of life in the branches, so I think it's probably expired. Now, there is some hope because cottonwood can generate a full tree just from coming up from roots, as long as the roots are alive. So it's not a done deal for this tree, but unfortunately, for now, I'm going to just keep my hopes up. I bought this little Carolina Cypress online. Actually, I think it was from eBay, and it was about this high when I got it, and it's put on almost a foot of growth. It would have put on more, but it looks like the mule deer chomped the top of them, but he didn't miss a beat. He kept growing despite the mule deer chomping on him, and the mule deer found out that they really taste bad, which is a good thing. I may be frugal with the water, but he seems to be doing really well. So these beautiful plants were given to me by some off-grid friends, and these came from California, and they're a California table grape, 2 different varieties. And I now figured out where I'm going to put them, so I hope to plant them and give them a home in the next few weeks. So the big learning curve one has to encounter here is just how do you obtain enough water for your landscaping. And since, as most of you know, I do not have a well, It comes down to this. I need to expand my rainwater harvesting surface areas, and the good thing is I've got some solid plans for that, and I'll show you a few things I'm going to be doing. So I'm really excited about the addition of these surfaces that I can use for rainwater harvesting. The shower shed, where I'll keep my solar equipment, the 200 square foot carport, and of course, last but not least, the 1,200 square foot big home. So I was anxious to get going on the carport and at least start to clear out all the area where it's going to be. Oops. So as I've mentioned before, this big home will not only be a large, wonderful space to live in, when the porches are on, this will be about 1,200 square feet of rainwater harvesting space. So what I'm really looking forward to finding out is, with more liberal watering, and I'll be able to do that when I have more water, will there be any winter kill at all with my trees and shrubs? And a really big thanks, folks, for all your thoughtfulness with my Amazon wish list. And I do apologize. I have to keep maintaining it, otherwise Amazon just seems to drop the ball and it doesn't work. So anyway, it's working well, and proof of that is this lovely gift from Steve. These are Timberlock screws, really pricey, but they're so useful because, boy, when you use these things, nothing's coming apart. That's for sure. So thank you, Steve. So a big thanks as always, folks, for watching these videos. And you can bet I'm anxious to get going on framing the walls for this big home. And that's coming up really soon. So stick around. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell. That'll let you know when my next video is coming up. And if you'll kindly give a thumbs up, that'll help too. And I can hardly wait to see you on the next video.